Yo, what's up? It's Amaton. I'm going to show you how to make an intro sound for a dubstep song, like the one I used in my song Reload, which is going to be on my upcoming Ammunition EP. The first two songs of that said EP are already up for free download, so feel free to check them out, download them if you like. And here's the intro sound. So yeah, that initial metal hit and everything that followed after it, except for the percussion, is all one sound. And I'm going to go ahead and jump into that sound after I give some background music so you're not as bored in the background.
From the entire Channel 4 news team, I'm Veronica.
Alright.
Go
fuck yourself, San Diego. Alright. So here's the synth. I called it Spaceship Landing because that's what it kind of reminds me of. The first three oscillators are... Oh wait, sorry about that, the music kind of got me thrown off for a second. So I'm going to show you the first three oscillators and this 5 performer first, before I show you the filter or where the performer goes otherwise, like in these effects places. So I'm going to explain these first three oscillators, that performer, and you should save the sound after that. So let's go. You're going to set all three of them, pitch them down to -24. The first one's going to be a scrapyard with it being spectrum. Wavetable position a little past 9 with intensity and amp turned all the way up, and it's routed all the way to filter 1. Oscillator 2 is frozen. It's going to be a formant sound with the wavetable position maybe 10, 1030 around that area. The intensity is going to be turned all the way up, but the amp's only going to be about 3/4 of the way up. It's going to make it so the formant harshness doesn't quite overpower that scrapyard like core sound. Oscillator 3 is a sawtooth. It's really good for adding kind of a metal, or more specifically sawtooth 2, for adding kind of a metal heavy feel to a lot of bass synths and dubstep. And you could try messing with this by making it -12 or that one -12 to give a different sound, but I like kind of the classic spacey sound. And for this performer, it's initially going to be an LFO. So it's going to be an LFO and it's going to have that fucking little knob thing. So you're going to go to sync and it's probably going to be 1 to 8, I think. And you're going to want to turn it to 1 to 1 initially. Your final sound will be 16 to 1, but 1 to 1 is a good way to place them initially and see the full spectrum of the sounds you'll be making. So you're going to go from that LFO to a performer and load curve. Initially it's going to have all these full. Just turn them up or down here. It doesn't matter because you're going to have the X fade sequence all the way up and the amp mod all the way up. Turn all of these all the way down and set a sawtooth falling from left to right if you want your sound to fall, and rising from left to right if you want your sound to rise. I know, right? Super simple. So you're going to want to put that performer on the pitch of each oscillator and pitch it up to. So that way it's going to give it a nice rise and fall feel, even with the ratio only at 1 to 1. See, so you can already hear that full pitch range. Good, you're going to go to your modulation OSC and go to phase. And turn it up just a little bit, because when you turn it up too high it really alters the sound. You just want to kind of have a nice low kind of wobble feel and add a little more roundness to your sound. You're going to have your noise, instead of it being a white noise, it's going to be a bright noise. Put that 5 performer on the color and have it go about 3/4 of the way up. Initially your amp will be down here, put it around to there, put the 5 performer there. So that way as it starts to pitch down and the sound fades away, the bright will come in and kind of compensate for the loss of sound. The filter is going to be a band reject. Flat cutoff is going to be there, bandwidth there, resonance there. I feel like I'm running out of time, so I'm going to pick it up a little bit. You put that's that. You don't even need to put a performer on any of that. You could add a little to the cutoff if you wanted to have some extra rise, but I didn't want that for mine. So for the insert one, you're going to want a sine shaper. It adds a little more, kind of just like a harder punch to your sound. So having the dry wet in the middle helps it not overpower your initial sound, and then having the drive a little below makes it so when all of these oscillators are at a higher pitch and a higher sound, the drive's not going to be as harsh, but just like with the bright noise down here, it's going to help compensate for the loss of sound and kind of keep a nice tone to it. Your FX1 is going to be a classic tube. It adds a little more drive to your sound. It's like a tube, just pushes that sound. It's a little harder. Put that 5 on the dry wet and the drive, kind of the same concept as here, and adjust all of these to your liking to make them a little more intense, less intense, it's whatever, but that's kind of the base of it all. So what you could do is you could save this sound as a separate sound. Oh wait, sorry. Dimension expander, just some dry wet and some size, that's no big deal. But you're going to want to save this sound as a new sound, so that way when you mess with the oscillators or filters or things like that, you still have this core sound in mind. So that way if you're trying out a new curve like this, for example, and it sounds like shit, whereas the one before sounded cool, you could always go back to it. Because I know that's a huge problem, because I learned everything I know from YouTube tutorials. Oh wait, no, that is not all of it. There's the voicing tab. So it's actually going to be at 16.1, and I brought it down to 2, and I brought the unisono up to 2. So there's 2 voices going at the same time all the time, like throughout the sound. It's going to be on polyphonic naturally, which makes it sound like a pretty cramped sound. It's okay for like synths and leads like that, but not intro sounds. So monophonic or mono rotate. And I also have it on legato or legato triller. There's a slight variation, I can't fully describe it, but you could play that one by ear, but it's usually best to have one of these on. These will naturally be off, but you're going to want to turn on the pan position to move it around here. It helps the sound carry from one speaker or headphone to the other, so it doesn't constantly fight for space in the middle. You're going to want to turn on this pitch cutoff too. It's naturally going to be at 1. For an intro sound, if you want it to have some high end and have a little more of an 8-bit feel, go ahead and keep it at the 1. But I'm into that kind of like dark and heavy dubstep, so this one's going to go down to -1. I'm going to turn the pitch cutoff around there, and that's going to help it kind of keep the low frequencies and keep them all neat and tidy for a nice full sound. For most synths, you're going to want the level turned all the way up, but I turned mine down a little bit just to kind of keep with the feel, because I didn't want the percussion to take over. But to start off with, I would recommend having the level all the way up so you could hear the sound all the way through. And that's about it. I guess some ways I would recommend automating this is throw one of these on like a resonance or a cutoff or a bandwidth, and create an automation clip. It's a nice way to add some variation. Make sure to check out my SoundCloud. The Ammunition EP will be up soon. I'm going to be submitting it to some new labels, so any feedback, any like, any sharing, all that means a lot. And I guess I'm just going to show you what the drop of that song sounds like, and peace out. I hope you liked having the music in the background. I wish more people did that for YouTube tutorials.
Yeah.